After 4 decades of hard graft, Lord Sugar has become one of Britain's most successful businessmen and best-known TV personalities. His autobiography is called What You See Is What You Get, and it tells his story from humble beginnings in East London to his life peerage in 2009 via Amstrad and, of course, The Apprentice boardroom. And Alan Sugar joins me now from his home in Chigwell. Thank you for being with us. I've got the book here, What You See Is What You Get, but it runs to nearly 600 pages, so presumably it's a bit more complicated than that.
Well, you know me, Adam, I don't stop talking.
Right, and what is the secret of your success? We just told our viewers you'd reveal it. I mean, why are you so successful, do you think?
Well, first of all, you have to understand that I started out in business simply because I wanted to be self-sufficient, and I didn't want to rely upon anybody else. I brought up in a kind of a working class environment in the council flats in Hackney, watched my father suffer for all those years, decided I just didn't want to be one of those factory workers. So I started a business on my own, and it was never meant to be such a giant business, but you know what they say, once you've made the first few million quid, you do it because it's there, because it's a challenge, because it's inside you. So I think it was the need, personal need in the beginning to want to actually be self-sufficient, and it was a desire for having some wealth and some money so that I didn't have to worry anymore.
And what do you think was your unique talent? Because obviously there are lots of people who have set out with an ambition like that, but they don't all end up Lord Sugar.
Well, you know, it's a frequently asked question, Adam. I always answer it the same way. I'll give you my frequent answer, and that is that people talk about entrepreneurial spirit. Now, you're born with it, as far as I'm concerned. I've often said you can't go into a shop and buy a bottle of entrepreneur juice or a book somewhere to learn how to become one. And I kind of compare it to, say, a concert pianist, for example, who, if, for example, you locked me in a room for a year with a piano teacher, I guess at the end of the year, you know, I would come out and I'd be able to do you a rendition of Roll Out the Barrel. Would I ever be a concert pianist at the Royal Albert Hall? No. And you know, and that's really it. Does a concert pianist at the age of 11 suddenly start playing the piano? No, he doesn't. Someone spots something in him. Yeah. And makes it come out of them, and, well, that's what I.
Well, I suppose there could be two versions. One is giving the customer what they want, but the other one would be actually having the ability to put one over on the customer. Which is it, you think?
Well, I don't think you put one over on customers, you know. I mean, the thing is, customers are not stupid. I gave good value for money, giving the customer what they want. You're spot on. That is exactly what you do to be successful. You know, you can fool some people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. So, you know, 40 years of business and producing products, including those great boxes which we watch your program on, you know, has shown that the public adored my products and appreciated that I brought it to them at affordable prices.
What about the aggression, the sort of Mr. Nasty side of it? To get on in business, do you need to be nasty?
No, I don't think so. Look, there's lots of people that say they see me, Adam, from what they see on television. Okay, let's be fair. Let's be realistic about this. Yeah. I think you have to look at the people that work for me. Many of them that have worked for me for 30, 40 years. One of them's worked for me for 40 years. Lots of them, the average, have worked for me for about 15 or 20 years. You know, you don't have a loyal you don't have a loyal team around you if you know, if you're not a nice guy, so to speak. I'm straightforward. What's on my lungs, on my tongue. That's how it's always been. Some people don't like it, first of all, but in the long haul, they do like it when they do business with me because they know where they stand. You see that, and you know, there's no messing about, and that's really been my way.
I mean, you say in the book you had quite a sort of cold relationship with your parents and with your young family when they were growing up, or distant ones. Do you think that was part and parcel of your success, that you had to be able to put the sort of personal stuff to one side?
Well, no, I think that I'm a very disciplined person. I've always worked for the last 40 odd years, Monday to Friday, non-stop, 24/7. Weekends, I don't work, apart from this weekend when I'm talking to you. And that's how I've always disciplined myself. But Monday to Friday, I was up 6:30 in the morning and back at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And so, in modern day terms, I never saw the children as they were growing up. I saw them on the weekend. Completely different in this day and age. I know, I look at my own children and the way they deal with their children. It's completely different, but that's how it was in those days.
What was becoming the boss of Spurs, was that the biggest mistake of your career? The football?
I guess so, yeah. Football was a pain in the neck, yeah, it was, yeah. It was a big mistake, yeah.
And why?
I mean, commercially, you could... Well, because I thought that going and trying to support and save my club, that the family's club that we've, supported all over the years would just be a kind of a nice sideline outside of business to deal with. And, the initial thing was to actually just, get the club out of debt and put it on its feet. The fans were very, very thankful for about 2 minutes, and then once that was over and forgotten, it was you got it in the neck, because if the team didn't win on the pitch, it was my fault. It's as simple as that. I think that simplifies it, really. It's as simple as that.
You've also had a political career. You became Lord Sugar, put there by Gordon Brown. Is that at an end now?
Yeah, that was over. I think you might recall, Adam, that you interviewed me on, I think it was on the Sunday.
Yeah, not very helpfully.
After I was appointed to the... Yeah. Well, no, never mind. Listen, look, you was on their side at the time. I'm quite enjoying the way that you're very balanced now, and interviewing Mr. Cameron the other day. I thought it was quite good. But anyway, at that time, it was I think it was June 2009. So I lasted, if you like, as a government advisor until May of this year. And they didn't want my services were no longer required.
Yeah, so do you back the cuts? The cuts in the economy, do we need
I beg your pardon?
I mean, Philip Green used to...
yeah.
You back the cuts, do you?
Well, I think the old government knew there had to be cuts, and in fact, one of the part and parcel of the last thing I was doing while I was in the government there was looking at ways of the business link centres could be shrunk down, so that everybody acknowledged there needed to be cuts. I think that the cuts that the Labour Party were thinking of were to be more gradual rather than dramatic. And I think that anything done dramatically, does disrupt the public. I think more of a gradual thing, if you like, is not so noticeable.
So, Alan, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Oh, sorry, Lord Sugar. It's been a pleasure talking to you. We didn't even get on to Kirsty Allstott, probably just as well.